Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Avatar draft here on the channel. Let's see what we can open up in our first pack. The anticipation builds! Boom! We got Ozai the Phoenix King. This card is absolutely stellar. It's 6 mana, black, and red, though, so it does kind of force you to play those two colors, but it's a trample haste 7/7 with firebending 4. So when you attack with it, you get 4 mana back immediately if you have any instants or things like that. And it keeps your mana around, and if you have 6 or more unspent mana, it's flying and indestructible. So this card is stellar. We're going to first pick it here, even though it is multiple colors, and we're going to try to play black-red to get it into our deck. Last Agni Kai is another rare. This one's also pretty reasonable. They fight, and then you can add some extra mana, so you can sometimes get like a rebate on this, but it's like a 2 mana fight spell, instant speed though, but it like kind of lets you turn your firebending mana into like regular mana almost, which is kind of cool if you do that during combat. There's Toph, 3 mana for like a star 3, but it's like a 2/3 plus a 2/2 kind of, which is pretty neat, and it can be even bigger than a 2/3. And then like Path to Redemption's a solid common. But here, generally in draft, when you have a chance to get like an A+ card that could be the best card in your deck by like a mile, you generally want to take it and then try to build around it if you can. So that's kind of the logic by taking Ozai, and we don't have to be black-red. We could just abandon the Ozai. He's not really splashable, but if black-red's open, or we can like, maybe black is open, or maybe red is open, and we can just get a couple cards of the other color to play Ozai, it's generally going to be worth it. Now in this pack, there is Invasion Submersible, which is a very good card. It's in blue though, which doesn't let us play the Ozai. So pick 2. If there's a reasonable option in black or red, we would like to get that going, because that would let us play our Ozai, of course. There is Fire Nation Attacks, which I think will be our pick here. It's a really kind of expensive card, but it does play pretty well with the same cards that play well with Ozai. The Firebenders mean that the first turn you attack with Ozai, you might be able to get up to that 6 unspent red mana, and it's a good place to put the mana once you have it with Ozai. Though once you have Ozai, you pretty much win anyway. There's also Fire Nation Cadets, which is a pretty nice common, though I don't want to take it here, but it does get you some firebending. I like Allies at Last as well as a removal spell in your ally deck, and then Airbending Lesson's pretty good too. So there's a lot of good cards in that pack. Pick 3, and this is where things start to fall off the rails, because the power level discrepancy we'd have to take in order to play this Ozai is now pretty staggering. Fire Nation Raider, I think, is the better of the two options. 4/2, you get a clue. If you attack this turn, then there's Canyon Crawler. But like compared to these two, like Water Tribe Rallier is absolutely nutso. You just play this, and then oftentimes you'll have some tokens in play or things like that, and you can just start churning through your library. I think this is a pretty clear Water Tribe Rallier. It doesn't mean that we can't play black or red. It could have just been a weird pack. Like all that's missing is like a rare and an uncommon. So maybe there just weren't good black or red cards. But this card being here is pretty strong. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's still pick 3. We just want to take it as a signal point that there was not a really good option for us. The next best card is maybe Rebellious Captives as a 2-drop, or like Glider Kids is another white card. So we're not abandoning our dreams of playing Ozai, and I'm glad we didn't abandon our dreams, because there's another pretty good card for us here. War Balloon. I think War Balloon is, I mean, in this pack, this is why you don't abandon your dreams. Suki Kyoshi Warrior would go with the white card we just took. But here there's 2 main options. There's the War Balloon, which is like a 4/3 that you can crew relatively easily, or you can just start pumping your mana into it. So if you have like some firebending, you can use that for this card, which is nice. And then there's Callous Inspector, which is another card I like. It's like a 1/1, gets the pressure on, and then when it dies, you get a clue. So if you have sacrifice shenanigans, it's pretty good with that. I think we'll take the War Balloon. I've been fairly happy with this card. I think it's kind of going to be interesting to see how it performs here. Callous Inspector. But yeah, when you can get this activated, it's pretty good. And it's a good place to put your firebending mana. Nice. Now there's Deadly Precision. We do still want to play black-red, so Deadly Precision's great. Plays well with things like Callous Inspector. There are a few things that give you like good artifacts or creatures to sacrifice to the Deadly Precision, so I think we'll take that, get a removal spell. I wouldn't mind taking Azula Always Lies. This is a pretty good combat trick. It also works well with like lesson synergies for your card, like your Firebending student. And then Yuyan Archers is reasonable as well, because if you have a really powerful card like Ozai, anything that helps you filter through your deck is going to be a little bit better than otherwise would be. We do not currently have a 2-drop. This also crews the War Balloon on its own, which is nice. I don't love Wolfbat. It's not that hard to get it back, but it's a 3-mana 2/2 on its front side, which is kind of a disappointing base stat line. Okay, now we are considering Buzzard Wasp Colony. It's another sacrifice card. When you enters, you can sacrifice an artifact or creature if you do draw a card. But it's just so small as a 4-mana 2/2, so that I don't really want to take it. I think here we might take the Yu-Yan Archers, get ourselves our first 2-drop creature. Azula Always Lies does kind of dunk on the Yu-Yan Archers, but we don't have any creatures right now. I guess we have Fire Nation attacks and the Ozai, but I kind of want to just get the Yu-Yan Archers here, get myself a creature. And Azula Always Lies, these sorts of combat tricks you don't really need to prioritize as highly. You can play like 1 or 2 copies, but since it's still pack 1, we have time to pick up those 1 or 2 copies. And if we don't end up with them, we're going to be pretty okay. Oh, yes. So this is one of the best cards to get with Ozai, and it's actually a perfect card for the Ozai deck because, as you see, we're getting it pick 7. But what this does is you can search for a Lesson or Noble card, and you may have guessed it, but Ozai is a Noble. So this like doubles the number of Ozais we have in our deck. Turn 5, we tap out for Lo and Lee, and then next turn we just jam Ozai. And if we already have the Ozai in hand, we'll probably be able to pick up some Lessons to go get. If I wasn't taking this, I would probably take the Merchant of Many Hats as a 2-drop that has some value attached. Boomy Bash is also a fine removal spell. I'm not really a fan of the Foggy Swamp Hunters. The Lo and Lee is perfect for us. Okay, and now, honestly, it's funny. We've seen a few shrines, which is funny. So we've seen like the 2 copies of the Black Shrine. So Crescent Island Temple is like, maybe we take Crescent Island Temple and then wield the Black Shrine and then play both those. But the problem is they're just too bad on their own. And if you're not trying to play like every shrine, you don't really want to go for any of them. So we will instead take Corrupt Court Official. It's a really nice just 2-drop that you don't mind sacrificing to think. Gets a little bit of value. Just nice little mid-range threat. The land isn't really something we care about because playing a black, red card means we don't really want off-color lands. Though in this case, I think we will take Path to Redemption. If we really needed removal, maybe we could splash this. And we don't really want Foggy Swamp Hunters ever. 4-mana 3/4 that just like sometimes has Lifelink and Menace. I mean, that's just really kind of appalling stats, honestly. So I think we're just going to take Path to Redemption and now just keep the chain running, take an airbending lesson here. I mean, there are scenarios where we would abandon black and just play like red-white or something. I don't want to because of the Ozai, but I mean, we're not seeing any late black or red cards here. Now I guess we'll take energy bending. It's kind of tough. Could just take Glider Kids. Let's just take Glider Kids. White is looking super open. But then we get the Callous Inspector back. That's pretty nice. Nice little addition to the deck. When you have Ozai and the Lo and Lee, you really just want to try to play this deck. So we're going to hope for a good pack 2. We did not pass a lot of red and black. So pack 2 should be good to us, and then we can just hope for the best in pack 3. We get Wolf Bat back. Definitely a card we can play. Synergy with Yu-Yan Archers. And yeah, we're just going to hope for the best here. Pack 2, here we go. What are we working with? Well, we do see Iroh's Demonstration. So 2 mana, you can either kind of get a little mini board wipe if your opponent has a bunch of 1 toughness things. But 2 mana, deal 4. It's a lesson, so we can go get it with Lo and Lee, which will then have lifelink on our spell. So pretty good option there. If we weren't taking this, we'd probably take Corrupt Court Official or Deserter's Disciple. Probably leaning more towards the Corrupt Court Official because our deck feels more mid-rangey at the moment. Toph Hard-Headed Teacher is also a fantastic card, but we're already kind of going for the Ozai direction. Wow, this is a heck of a pack. Oh my gosh. So, Last Agni Kai, we already saw this. It's a fight spell, so we really want to have big creatures early in the game to make this work. We don't really have that. Like, if we look at our curve, we have like a 3/1 that doesn't fight very well, a 1/1 that doesn't fight very well, a 2/2 that doesn't fight very well, a 1/1. So we're not really a Last Agni Kai deck. We could take Fire Nation Attacks to number 2. We're already not that great at getting the first one enabled. It's still going to be a solid card for us, but I don't think we need multiple copies of it that badly. I think Firebending Lesson is just fantastic. Cheap removal spell, scales with the game. It's a lesson for any future Fire Nation cadets we get, which I do think we would want Fire Nation cadets, but I think we just would rather get the cheap removal spell right now. I do think Fire Nation Attacks is pretty reasonable, but I think 1 copy is much better, and then the Firebending Lesson is going to be great. Oh, yes. Here we go. Redirect Lightning is really, really sweet. If you ever have this card in your hand and then you play the Ozai, it's basically like invulnerable. Because you're going to have the mana from Firebending. I think this card's really strong. There's also May, Jaded Edge. Pretty reasonable card as well. Gets another 2-drop in the deck, but I think this card, it's a rare for a reason. It's really strong. And then there's Azula on the Hunt. I don't mind Azula on the Hunt. Firebending 2, when it attacks, you get a clue. There's also Zhang the Deserter, which is another fantastic card. You play this, you exhaust it, cast a firebending lesson. We don't have that many lessons, but I do think this card's really good, and it's got firebending of its own. There's also Cunning Maneuver as a combat trick. This is a tricky pick here. Azula on the Hunt I like partially because it gives me a second noble to go get with Lo and Li. This guy's not a noble, he's a rebel ally. I do like Zhang, but I think I'm going to take the Azula. Just demands an answer right away. Now there's Lightning Strike as a kill spell. We'll be pretty happy taking that. Plays really well with firebending cards. Gets another removal spell, and my creature count is at 7. The War Balloon can kind of be like a creature, though. Jet is really strong, but I'm not going to be... I mean, I am going to be heavy red, but I still need to get double black. And I don't have that many creatures, so I don't think I'm a Jet deck. Fire Nation Engineer is fine if you're being aggressive, but I don't have that many 2-drops to attack with immediately, so I think Lightning Strike is a pretty easy pick. Yikes on this pack, though. Maybe we just take Bender's Water Skin. Give ourselves some ramp. Also, yeah, this is not a great pickup for us, though. Earth Rumble's reasonable. There's also Wandering Musicians that we could take. It does buff up our little guys a little bit. Plays well with Fire Nation attacks. I don't think we ever want the Bender's Water Skin. Let's just take the Wandering Musicians. I also don't really like Daily Indoctrination. We get an Azula on the Hunt, number 2. That's pretty reasonable. I would love to get a Boiling Rock Prison. I do think this card's good. It's funny, because now that I have a second Azula, I kind of wish I'd taken the Zhang, because multiple legendaries can be a bit of a downside, but I think that the card is pretty good still. Pirate Peddlers is good. Swamp Snare Trap, not my favorite. I would love the land here. I think I would second pick the land out of this pack. Azula Always Lies. I already have 2 4-drops that I'm much happier playing than the Fire Nation Raider. I think Azula Always Lies could be pretty good. It works well with cards that want to attack. It doesn't require red mana as a combat trick, which is a little bit of a downside. I just don't think I want the Fire Nation Raider. Okay, I could take Deserter's Disciple now. I get another 2-drop. I think I'll do that. That seems pretty reasonable. Over the Mongoose Lizard. I have not been that impressed by that one. Sure, I guess I'll take the black card now. Earth Rumble Wrestlers. That's not really the card for me. I guess I'll get the Musicians. I don't really love it, though. Beetle-Headed Merchants. Sure. Sometimes you can play that. We are fully in the power of the Daily here. Pack 3. What do we got? Well, Appa's insane, but it's funny. If we'd opened Appa pack 1, pick 1, I think we would easily have ended up red-white, because white was way more open than black was. But because we opened up Ozai, we have bias towards Ozai instead. Zhao is pretty good. You get a 3/4, Firebending 2. You can sack permanents, so if you're sacking like Azula clues or something, you get that value. I think we're just going to take Firebending Lesson, though. Get ourselves another cheap removal spell, help us survive. When you have Lo and Li, it's also nice because you can gain that life back. And when you have 2 basically copies of Ozai, you're going to be able to play Ozai most games. So just surviving to that point, playing reasonable spells in the early turns is nice. Okay, now there's another Yu-Yan Archers. There is also Pretending Poxbearers. Dies into a 1/1. I think this card's much better than the Yu-Yan Archers. I mean, the best card in this pack was probably Team Avatar. Again, we're just playing black-red because of the Ozai. It's kind of an interesting dynamic because we'll win a lot of the games where we play Ozai, and we'll lose games a little bit more frequently because we're not playing like the stronger objective cards maybe that we could have gotten. But yeah, let's take the Poxbearers, I think. And then maybe we could even wheel the Yu-Yans. Wheel Fire Nation Raider, maybe. But yeah, let's get another 2-drop for our deck. Okay, now there's a black-red land. I think we're going to take it here. There is also Zuko's Conviction, which is like a reanimation spell, but I don't think it's good enough to be worth playing. Like, if we play our Ozai, we're going to try to make sure it has Indestructible to keep it safe. We don't have, like, Self-Mill, where this would be useful. And the black-red land is going to help us cast black, red, red cards. And also, you can, in the late game, when you have a bunch of mana from Firebending, you can sack these things. So yeah, we're just going to get a land now. One land is pretty good for this sort of deck. I don't mind Ozai's Cruelty. I don't love it, but we'll try it. Especially because we can go get it up with Low and Lee when it's useful. And the 2 damage it deals will have lifelink then. Not a great pickup, but our deck is just going to be a little bit more mediocre than we would like. Ooh, June the Bounty Hunter's nice. I mean, look how many white cards we're seeing. We're seeing Gather the White Lotus is a great white card. We're seeing Kyoshi Warriors is a great white card. My creature count is kind of low, right? 12. So honestly, Borcupine could be okay. But I think I'm pretty happy getting the June. The June plays pretty well with some of my creatures, like the Pretending Poxbearers, Corrupt Court Officials, things like that. And June is just a nice card. Now maybe I take the Fire Nation Engineer. I have enough 2-drops now to support it. And I'm not really trying to play Fire Nation Raider. There's also Messenger Hawk. Get a 1/2 that gets a clue token. Maybe that's better than the Fire Nation Engineer. Huh. Interesting. I just don't love a 1/2. Buzzard Wasp. Sure, we'll take that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 2-drops. Maybe we'll just get our 6th 2-drop. The Buzzard Wasp is pretty bad. Now there's Long Fang. Interesting. There's also, I think Rough Rhino Cavalry is going to be a little bit better. Just a big 5-drop. We don't really need a second Corrupt Court Official. We already have enough 2s and stuff. Wow, we wield Zhao. That's pretty excellent. Love seeing that. That is excellent. We're not going to play Zuko's Exile here. Hog Monkey. We're not going to play Rumble Arena. I guess we'll just take the uncommon to build our collection faster. Okay. Pretty good draft, I think, overall. We ended up being able to make the Ozai work, which is pretty much just what we needed. We're not really a dedicated sacrifice deck, but let's see. What do we want to cut? We'll cut the Beetle-Headed Merchants. We're not really a huge sacrifice deck. I guess we have the Fire Nation attacks to sacrifice. We could probably cut Wandering Musicians too. Zhao is like a better version of that. We can cut Wolfbat because we don't have that much card draw. We have a couple things to sack. Poxbearers and Callous Inspector are pretty good to sacrifice to like June. So is the Corrupt Court Official. I don't think we want Hog Monkey. 17 lands with a Boiling Rock Prison seems pretty good. My colors are pretty even. Oh, this is the white card it says I have. Need to make one more cut. Could be Ozai's Cruelty. Could be second Deserter's Disciple. Let's cut second Deserter's Disciple, maybe. And Wolfbat honestly could be okay. Because I have a few clues. Like Azula makes clues, potentially. And then this makes a clue. June makes clues. But let's just run it like this for now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops. I think that'll be pretty good. We might not need Azula Always Lies. Could play like a Wolfbat over that. Creature count's at 13. Let's try the Wolfbat at the very least. I'm interested. Okay, this is going to be the deck. It's pretty interesting to see how this will play out, but I'm excited to see if Ozai was worth building around so heavily. As we get into the games, I would like to take a moment to shout out the NicolaiBolas Patreon if you're enjoying my videos and you'd like to support my mission to make draft more accessible for everyone while gaining access to my card-by-card tier list and format thoughts document as well as other cool rewards. Then patreon.com/NicolaiBolas is the place to go. Special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It makes a huge difference for the channel. Okay, round 1. Kicking things off, we have our Ozai, we have our Wolfbat that we were trying out. We have Firebending Lessons, so I'm liking our chances here. If we go Fire Nation attacks into Ozai, then Ozai will become flying and indestructible right away because the firebending from these two firebenders will chip in. Nice. We get our wolf bat down. They're playing mono white over there. Oh no. No redemption over here. We have some sack outlets that would make this like kind of a liability for them. Ooh, they got rid of Razor Rings. And also I'm glad that they got rid of this card because it means that my Ozai is much more likely to do good work. I'm just going to flash in Fire Nation attacks. And then the next turn I can use Firebending Lesson with Kicker and play Fire Nation Engineer because of the 2 extra mana from this. Wow, that's their best move. That's crazy. So we're going to enter full control. Ooh, or I could just get an Ozai down. I'll do the Ozai next turn. This is going to be better, I think. So, play lane. Go to attacks. Okay, resolve. Play this with Kicker. Kill this thing by dealing 5 damage to it. Play the Fire Nation Engineer. Put the combat counter onto one of my 2/2s. I think it's better to have a 3/3, a 2/2, and a 1/1 than 3 2/2s, because now if they play like a 3/3, I can still attack with that guy. I guess in this case it would have been better to buff up the other guy. I did give them a target for removal. Though I'm also feeling okay about this choice. They're playing blue-white. Okay. I don't think Indestructible is going to make a huge difference here compared to like against blue-white. Their removal spells are going to deal with it regardless of Indestructible usually. The only one that would deal with it... Oh, okay, that doesn't affect it. Water Drop, sure. Oh, no, I should have floated a mana. That was my B. Okay, and now I can make this thing a flyer. Okay, and I will just pass the turn. I'm going to keep this thing in reserve. If they don't find an answer to my Ozai, I win anyway. But if they do answer the Ozai, then this thing being in play won't actually help me win. I guess it would because I would go wider. Why are they tapping their creatures? I guess they need to find specifically a second Earth Kingdom Jailer. Boom! Got the win. Ozai 1-0. It's kind of like this. When you draft a deck like this and you draw your Ozai, you win those games. If you draft a deck like this and you don't draw your Ozai, you are in a little bit of a disadvantage. So it's like, how many Ozai-less games will we win? But that's helped a lot by the fact that we basically have 2 Ozais. Even though, like, playing the low and Lee, our opponent will know the Ozai's coming. Yeah, that's kind of how I like to think about these. So sometimes you draft a deck like this and you never draw your featured card and your deck loses and you're like, man, that was a mistake. But it's not necessarily a mistake because it's all about getting the highest wins in the aggregate if you drafted the thing like 1,000 times or whatever. Okay, we have our Ozai again. Okay, let's see what we shall see here. I've injured one of my hands, so it's a little bit awkward holding a mouse. Okay. Play Yu Yan. and I will discard a swamp. And you might be like, oh no, but you need the mana for the Ozai. But I have faith that I will draw lands over the course of the game, and I need to do stuff before that, or my opponent will just like immediately kill the Ozai, and the game will be over anyway. Okay, I will trade this 3-1 for their 2-2. And then I'll play June. They're playing 3 colors. Interesting. So now I have the Ozai mana. Okay. They did nothing. So they probably have removal spells in their hand if they're doing nothing on these turns. Okay. So we will play Deadly Precision now. Remember, we can just pay the extra 4. That is a huge difference with this sort of card compared to other cards similar to Deadly Precision. So this is a deck where I honestly might wait until I have the mana up to just protect the Ozai. Though, now that they're tapping out every turn, it's... Okay, Wolfbat. Let's just go for it. Because they could still have an exile spell. Like, the removal spells in this format aren't necessarily going to even matter. And if they do have a kill spell, then at least I've gotten them a little bit lower, so they have to feel a little bit awkward about attacking me, potentially. Let's see what they do here. If they have a sold out, it won't matter. Okay, they drain me for 1. I'm definitely not blocking. Beetle-headed merchants. Yep. Okay, perfect. Play land. So I think I want to get them low with this. So I'm going to use my Wolfbat here. I just need to make sure I have 4 mana left over after this all happens. So sacrifice Wolfbat. Draw my second card for the turn. Oh, that's perfect. Yes, I will bring it back. So this is unblockable. This is going to be a flyer, so it won't be blockable. So they'll go to 1, and then I'll just Ozai's Cruelty them. So it really doesn't matter if I bring this back. Ozai is continuing to be messed up. Boom. Nice little clean win there. They still have to discard their 2 cards at -1 life. That's funny. Boom. Love that. Oh, that's awesome. Nice little win. Again, when we have the Ozai, we kind of dominate. That's why I first picked it. I mean, it was a very committal first pick, but as you probably saw, I think red was pretty open this draft. Black a little bit less so, but we got the 2 Azulas in pack 2. And honestly, Azula plays really well in this deck because it comes down before Ozai could. And it's a kind of removal magnet as well. Like, you kind of have to kill Azula. And, yeah, then your Ozai just takes over. Okay, no Ozai this game, but great hand. We don't mind drawing Ozai later. Playing against green-white. Definitely willing to just wait and lightning strike their 3-drop. Yep, that is very lightning strikeable. War Balloon coming down. Sentries, sure. Let's just deal 4 to that. And then we can do that at instant speed, so we don't need to wait. We don't need to rush. Sure. Perfect. Azula is a great draw here. Though I guess we could Fire Nation attacks and then play Azula next turn. Okay, I think this is a little bit better because it's if they probably have a removal spell in their hand. Usually a deck will have 1 or 2 removal spells. And this gives us more mana to work with. So we play our land. So we can't play Azula and attack everything in. Let's just crew this up right now. I really don't want to go too crazy here. Okay, they destroy target attacking creature, sure. Like if they had a punch spell, I'd be okay in this situation still. Like sometimes they could have like +2/+2 in reach. Like holding up my thing during combat is pretty good. Next turn I can attack with everything. Maybe flash this in. Maybe use my kill spell. Okay. Okay. So I will have to kill that now, unfortunately. Now that is a great draw. Yep, that is going to be very good for me. Yeah, let's go get our Ozai, shall we? Ugh. I accept that if they have some crazy sequence of combat tricks, I could lose there. So now he's flying an indestructible and lifelink. If they have destroy target attacking creature, okay. Sure, they're taking 7. Oh, interesting. So we'll let the damage happen. And we'll flash in our jump blockers. I guess I should have waited until later to do that. Boom! Got the win. That was smart, though. I think them trying to kill that thing made the most sense. Prevent me from gaining a bunch of life. Maybe they have some sort of miracle top deck. But once again, Ozai wins it for us. Man, the fact that you can get Lo and Lee when you have Ozai because nobody else really cares about fetching up a Noble that badly is pretty good. Pretty good, you could say. Nice little hand again. Oh my gosh, we have the Callous Inspector June combo. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, now we'll play our mountain. I will play Yu Yan archers here because it hits harder. And I'm not planning on sacrificing anything just yet, so I'll get rid of my extra swamp. Nice. Ozai's cruelty could be good. Playing against mono blue so far. Sure. That's interesting. So let's just attack in. Play Yu Yan archers again. Discard our mountain. And then play swamp. So there are some scenarios where it would make more sense to play our 3-drop there. But because we're trying to apply some pressure here and they look like they're kind of struggling to hit their colors, it's nice to just get the highest power thing into play when we can. Okay, so now we will go land. Just attack with our Menace guy. And then just deploy 2 more threats. We don't want to let them sack a clue. That would be really mana efficient. It looks like they're missing a color. And now we can keep hitting them for damage and... And remember, we do have 2 extra damage. We have 5 extra damage, essentially, from these 2 cards. Wow, they have Sokka's Haiku. Sure. Yep. We're chilling. I suspect they have a second color in their deck, but if they don't, they don't. I wonder if I'm just supposed to sack this, and then I'm just supposed to attack with everything, honestly. Sure. Sure. Interesting. I don't mind this at all, actually. So they're at 8. If I save this clue, I have 3 power. They can't really block right now. They're a functional 6. They're just playing mono blue. It's crazy. Okay. Now saving this clue doesn't really matter. I'll just get rid of it. Okay. I will try to take out their serpent. And I will still hold this Ozai's Cruelty because it's kind of valuable that they don't know about it. Like, their life total is in much more jeopardy than they might want to believe. They might think they can take 1 more hit from both my creatures, which they kind of can, but then the Callous Inspector's a huge issue. Dies early for sure. I'm glad I saved the Yu Yan archers. Another honest work, sure. Whoa, that's perfect. Now I get to take their last 2 cards. 2 lands, unfortunately, but still, with the looting, that was still relevant. Interesting. Okay, they loot. Okay, now we can send with the team. This Callous Inspector's done like 6 damage on its own. So they get 1 more loot out of this. This is why this card isn't very good, because the 1/1s, as you've seen, have been actually pretty relevant for me. Benevolent River Spirit, sure. Scry 2. 1 top, so they haven't answered the Callous Inspector now. It doesn't matter, this has Ward 2, sure. Boom. An Ozai-less win. We have done it. We needed no Ozais. Always a nice feeling. Cruising up to the 4 wins bracket. I mean, we've guaranteed a winning record with our deck. But it's pretty awesome. I mean, we have 3 Ozai games, 2 games where we drew it, 1 game where we got it thanks to our Low and Lee. And then we have 1 win without Ozai. And that one, as you saw, was the trickiest by far. Like, we needed every scrap of damage to get the job done in that game. Also, I almost got punished for not playing my land ahead of time. But it worked out. I wonder if they were just supposed to block June that 1 turn or block my 3/1. Like, blocking June would have made it so I couldn't sacrifice the things. Or make a clue, I mean. But then could have killed the guy. I think I played that pretty well. But it was an interesting game for sure. Let's just hope to get Ozai more so that we don't have to worry about it, though. Okay, speaking of the devil, and he shall come. Here we go. Keep this hand on the play. We have Ozai. Have a removal spell. Have something to do in the meantime. It's not the greatest hand because we don't have any early game right now, but our deck is mostly early game. With Ozai as a finisher, so... Beautiful. Here, I think I will play Yuyan. I will discard a card, but it might not be the card you think. I'm going to get rid of Deadly Precision. I don't have anything to sacrifice to it. I don't really want a 5-mana kill spell right now. And I want to find more pressure or cheap things to do. So this is a perfect draw for me here. And I want to keep drawing towards land drop, so I was never getting rid of a land there. Here's a situation where I will Ozai's Cruelty on turn 3 because it's way more mana efficient. I have plenty of 2-drops that I could go Lightning Strike plus that in the future. And getting rid of some of their cards, especially because they don't necessarily know I have this thing coming down. Maybe we get rid of a clunky removal spell, or we get rid of like a couple lands that they needed for their curve out. Okay, they get rid of a couple creatures. Nice, they're playing green-white, so they will have some white-based removal that can probably answer Ozai. So the first hit is going to be essential. And this is why we do this mana efficiently, because now we can Lightning Strike the healer. Attack for 3, play Poxbearers. And now we have 5 power in play, Ozai 7 power, so hopefully you see the recipe that's brewing here. We could have tried to save Lightning Strike. Leaves from the Vine, wow. I think that card's pretty solid, but not if you don't have any creatures in play. You're getting a food token at least. Azula, perfect. So we're sending them down to 7, back up to 10. I think Azula is way better than Zhong Zhong would have been in this scenario. Like, Azula is like a threat they kind of want to answer really badly, and then Zhong Zhong wouldn't have done much. We might even win before the Ozai comes down. They got rid of a 3/1 that would have been pretty good blocker and a 2/2, so we'll have to see what they're up to here. So if we draw a land, then we get our Ozai down. Okay. What do they even have? Boom! We didn't even need Ozai. I mean, sure, it was nice to have, but we don't need to count that as an Ozai win because we didn't even play it. and our opponent didn't know we had it, so it's not like they adjusted their gameplay for it. So now we have 2 Ozai-less wins. Though, to be fair, that game was basically unlosable at that point because we had the Ozai in hand, so if they killed our entire board, like, we were going to win eventually because we just draw a land. Ozai hits them for, like, any damage and we win. But yeah, 5-0. Pretty great deck so far. I feel real good about, like, some of the borderline decisions that were made. I think the Wolf Bat was pretty good at that one game. Like, just as a 3-drop, just have a creatures in play. More creatures is nice. Our Azulas have been pretty nice. Lo and Lee has been really good. Our removal suite has been excellent. I mean, this is pretty much, like, the dream. Okie doke. We're up against a silver opponent. They aren't ready for our next level plays. Great hand here. Boiling Rock Prison really showcasing its power, making sure we can cast our cards the right colors. Wolf Bat into Fire Nation Engineers, nice. Get a growing threat there. Honestly, Poxbearers into Fire Nation Engineers pretty good too. My cabbages. Okay. Let's play Poxbearers. We don't really care about lightning striking this. This is like the perfect trade for us. They're playing multiple colors. Now we have our Ozai access. Okay, they block sack. That's fine. Let's get this guy down. The Poxbearers is now a 3-2. They got their ramp on. Man, a lot of tap lands over there, though. Okay. We'll attack with both. They could have kill an attacking creature. But then again, they could not. And then we're much happier doing it this way. And then I think we want to buff our Wolf Bat, honestly. Because having a flyer that's a little bit bigger is nice. And now we have 5 points of burn in our hand. Okay, so they have all 5 colors. White, blue, black, white, blue, black, red, green. So they have all 5 colors. So they could be playing like an Aang deck. Yep. Yep. What do they hit? They hit the Cabbage Merchant, sure. Sure thing, buddy. Okay, we will Lightning Strike Aang. And then we'll just attack with these 2. And then we'll buff up our Poxbearer so we can attack past the Cabbage Merchant again. Maybe we should have done that last time anyway. If we ever draw a land, we can use this to kill something. I don't think we want to risk Aang sticking around, because if it gets 4 toughness, we can't kill it with Lightning Strike anymore. And the Wolfbat's already a tempting target for removal, so... They have 6 cards in hand. Okay. You'd think if they had 5 colors, they would have, like, pretty solid spell quality. But I guess that's too much to ask. Do I play Azula or Lo and Lee? We're going to start by attacking with the Wolf Bat. And then we'll just keep growing that Wolf Bat. Let's play Lo and Lee, maybe. Get our Ozai. Are they going to get rid of the Cabbage Merchant? They will get rid of the Cabbage Merchant. Okay. Definitely grabbing Ozai. Keep buffing up the Wolf Bat. We could have buffed the Pox Bearers again, and then it could attack past this thing, but... we're probably going to send it in anyway next turn. Oh, they're like, oh gosh, how do I ever beat Ozai in a million years? That's kind of my reaction when my opponent used Lo and Lee to get Ozai against me. It's like, oh no, what do I do? I wonder if it's worth speculating on Lo and Lee. If on just, I guess it's a mythic rare, so it's probably not worth ever taking it as a speculative, just in case I get Ozai pick. But it does make Ozai so much better. Oh my gosh. The Wolfbat plus Fire Nation Engineer, getting a little flyer to get those counters is pretty good. Okay, they Boomy Bash that. Okay. Sure. So they take 6 and go to 7, or I could just get rid of this thing. I think I'll use this to get rid of their land, honestly. The land creature they're going to get from it. Getting them low is pretty valuable here, because this is going to put them even lower. I could have played the War Balloon and then immediately leveled it up. They might have missed a land drop last turn. And if they ever tap out, they almost certainly die. That's the thing. They held up 2 mana, like maybe it's 2 mana to destroy an attacking creature or something. Okay. Let's kill this land, make sure it comes back tapped. Okay. So they can go block sack, or we can force them to sack it and then they're dead on board. So now they're dead on board, I think. Because they have exactly 10 power in play. I think we played this game pretty well. Like, we had a lot of little decisions, like whether do we attack with the fire guy, where we put the counters. Boom! Got the win. That one, I think Ozai did have a major impact on the way they played the game, so that's kind of an Ozai win. We'll be honest on that one. But, like, holy heck. We are cruising! We didn't even need the Ozai. The threat of Ozai was good enough. Oh my gosh, we're 6-0. We're battling, we're playing really well. Our deck is playing out very well. Just all of the cards curving out nicely. And this has been a very sweet run. I think Black-Red's a great deck in this format, especially if you get Ozai. But, like, even the games where we haven't had Ozai, it wasn't even the most open deck, and we were kind of cruising for a lot of it. So, I'm pretty pleased. Pretty pleased with the cherry on top. Okie doke, we're up against another silver foe. This is our chance to get the perfect record. And we've got a good hand. 1-drop, 2-drop. Rough Rhino Cavalry is not my best 5-drop, but it's a 5-drop. So it's something to use my mana on. Whoa, there's an Appa companion? That's cool. Okay, here we go. A couple of sticky threats. I did not know there was an Appa companion. I know there's a Momo one. Blue-black, okay. This could be interesting. Oh, criminy. Could be interesting. The fact that we kept a reasonable opener and have drawn only lands so far, so Well, that's an encouraging sign. Them casting that instead of waiting to get the full card advantage from it. That's a great draw, too. Okay. Let's send in the gang. Make a couple tradesies. Blue-black will have some answers to Ozai, but should still be reasonable for us. We can play our Rough Rhino Cavalry as like a nice little bait to start. Get one of their premium removal spells out. I changed my mind. We're going straight for the Ozai. Because this way, if they want to attack with their Azula, we can double block it, and if they use a kill spell on one of those creatures, they won't have it for the Ozai. And we kind of have enough stuff going on that we don't need to really worry about. Like, this block is like, oh, if you have an interactive spell, you use it on one of these guys, you don't have it for the Ozai now. This is one of the reasons I played the low end Lee, is because I play Rough Rhino, they kill my guy, then all of a sudden I have to play low end Lee, they kill that thing, they sack their clue. It's like much harder. But now it's like, okay. That's unfortunate. Azula always lies is a good answer there. And I can go Ozai, sacrifice this clue. So I guess Azula always lies was one of the interactive spells where it would have mattered. Like, it wouldn't matter that much. They kind of want to use that in that situation. Having answers to 7/7s isn't that common in this format. We're just going for it. If they quench me, they quench me. Yep. That's how you lose games of Magic sometimes. Oh, that's rough. Luckily, we still have more lives, but the perfect record would have been nice. Unfortunately, we drew pretty badly this game. We didn't draw anything to do turn 3 or turn 4 to keep the pressure up. We went like 1 drop, 2 drop, and then did nothing for a couple turns. And that's just how it goes. Like, we've drawn 8 lands and 1, 2. We didn't even draw the Ozai. We've only drawn 4 spells this entire game, so that's how it goes. But we won't concede just yet, but it's pretty much over. They've gotten 2 extra cards from their Azula. They had their Heartless Act for my guy. It's like, even if I played Rider Cavalry, it wasn't going to really matter. There was like not much I could have done about this scenario. They had one of the answers. They have 6 cards in hand. Like, imagine if we had played an Azula on turn 4 before we did the low and Lee stuff. They would have probably used their Heartless Act, and then our Ozai could have lived. It's okay. Yeah, this is game over. Okay. Let's just see what we'll draw here. Yeah, we can scoop that up. We don't have anything to do. Unfortunate, but that was a particularly bad draw from us, and you lose those games a good amount of the time. If we had drawn like a kill spell for their Azula, we also could have won that game pretty easily, I think, depending. Because we could have then waited on playing our... I don't think we could have ever waited forever to play our Ozai, but we kind of had to play the Ozai. Just hope they don't have a kill spell, which is unlikely against blue-black, but at common, at least, they would have had to have like Sold Out or like some other stuff that like tucks it into the library, things like that. But yeah, we're still 6-1. It's not like we're doing badly. It's just kind of fun to go undefeated. But still very likely to get the max wins. Okie doke. Here we go. This is a much better hand. Like, immediately you can see we have cheaper things to do. We have good spell to land ratio. I mean, Wolfbat, not the greatest. We can't cast a lot of our cards right now, but we've got plenty of stuff to do. And like drawing lands is pretty good because it lets us cast our bigger stuff. Drawing spells is pretty good. They're playing Curious Farm Animal, so I'm feeling pretty confident right now. We don't really have any artifacts or enchantments that are worth noting, and yeah, I'm feeling real good about this now. This thing does line up well against the Rhino Cavalry. But like, Farm Animals is going to be a complete blank this entire game, pretty much. I basically can't block the Iguana Parrot, because if they have any spell to trigger prowess, I'm pretty unhappy. So I'm just going to get into the pattern of attacking so that I can then flash in Fire Nation attacks to block the Curious Farm Animals. And if they block there, I'm pretty happy as well. But yeah. This is a little bit of an inconvenience, the way this lined up. Because yeah, the Iguana Parrot's kind of annoying. Water Tribe. We're going to flash in Fire Nation attacks. Sure. 4, 6, 9. Interesting. Interesting. No blocks. That's a huge draw, honestly. That was like the best possible draw I could have had. We are gonna kill that. I think we're still in the spot where we trade 2 damage for 1 damage. Yeah, and we're definitely killing the Iguana Parrot. So they're gonna hit us down to 6. If we draw land, we can flash this thing in as well during combat. If we draw land, we could also just play these two. This thing does kill the Rough Rider Cavalry pretty good, though. Rough Rhino. The other reason to attack is we'd have to hold back multiple blockers if we wanted to block it anyway. Okay, sure thing. Well, that's a really good draw. Kind of. I'm actually just going to play this and hold up Redirect Lightning. Because this thing, they just kill it with this, and we don't want to pay 5 life for this right now. Going to 1 is super dicey. Just because then anything kills us. They're at 6, we're at 6. Our board state's looking pretty good. Quite mighty. I think we're about to get the trophy, and it's also going to rank us into Platinum. Not that I really care that much about the ranks, but yeah. It is kind of a satisfying, like, final thing for a draft, is like to rank up. Sure. Let's just go attack, 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 attack. They go block here, go to 2. Have 3 power in play. I play Azula. They kill Azula. They kill Azula and give +2/+2, so I still win. What was I just grossly miscounted somehow? They have to block 2 of them. Okay, they block 3. That's perfect for me. Now I will go to 1 if they use the barrels of jelly. They have exactly octopus form. Oh my gosh. Am I somehow going to lose this game? Like, oh my goodness. There's no way, right? They give their guy flying, they hit me to 4, then they're just dead on the crackback, right? Because this can give itself become a 7/7 trampler. Sure. Right, so I attack, they have to block here. This becomes a 7/7 trampler because I have 6, 8 mana. So it's a 7/7 trampler. They block here, they take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we got them. Close game, though. Definitely kind of close, considering they played like the Farmyard Animals guy. Boom! 7 wins. Let's go. Huge victory for the Fire Nation. Boom. Well, that was pretty spectacular. We didn't even need Ozai to close it out. So, there you go. We lost 1 game where we played Ozai, though we kind of did nothing else that entire game, and then we won our final game without even needing it. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag Phoenix or hashtag the King, because Ozai the Phoenix King clutched up for us, got us to maximum wins thanks to an awesome performance. Lo and Lee tutoring up the Ozai was awesome. The Azulas were pretty good when we drew them. Our removal suite was awesome with the 2 firebending lessons, the deadly precision, the and the Iris demonstration and the lightning strike. So we had great removal, good curve, plenty of good creatures, and then like Fire Nation Engineer did some cool stuff. Ozai's Cruelty did some good stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something about drafting around a first pick multicolored card, especially one as powerful as Ozai. I had so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.